Welcome to the Silent Sports and Gaming channel. You're watching the Silent Sports video blog, a special edition of episode 101, Major League Baseball Season Preview. And today's date is March 27th, 2019. I'm Trey West, and thank you so much for choosing the Silent Sports and Gaming channel. Special blog this week as it is Wednesday. You're not losing your mind. We still do our regular blog this week, which will be episode 102, as we look at everything going around in the world of sports. But this is a special Major League Baseball season preview as the season kicks off for the rest of Major League Baseball tomorrow. Of course, it started last week, really, in Tokyo, Japan, where the Mariners was able to sweep the Oakland A's in a 2-game series. Of course, with Ichiro retiring last week as well. The rest of the league will get started tomorrow, including the A's and the Mariners, finishing their season off. Games games start at 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So a big day of sports. Of course, the tournament kicks off again, and we'll talk about all that on Saturday as well. But we're gonna focus on just baseball, as I give you my predictions. Who will win every division? Who will make the playoffs? AL and NL MVP, Cy Youngs. Also, who I think will win the whole World Series in October. But we're gonna start. We're gonna talk about all 30 teams at least for a little bit. We're gonna go by each division, and I give you my winner, who I think will win it. And then I move on to who I think will make the playoffs and who could contend for the playoffs as well. But we're going to start in the National League. We'll start in the National League East. As I start from the bottom of the division and work my way up to the top. Of course, we'll start with the fifth team in the NL East. I think it will be the Miami Marlins. The Marlins did change their uniforms. Got that powder blue and black now. I think they got rid of all the orange and all the other brighter colors. But the Marlins, of course, being the Marlins, of course, in their history, they've won 2 World Series, but always broke the team up. They lost a lot of players over the last few years. Giancarlo Stanton, JT Realmuto, Christian Yelich, D. Gordon. I mean, the list goes on and on. Had a decent team. Decided to break it up. People are blaming Derek Jeter already, which I guess is sort of valid. He's the president there, I believe. So, to me, I just don't see the Marlins competing. Like I said, I'd be shocked if they didn't finish it last. I don't see no potential in this team at all. So they will finish last in the NL East. Number 4 in the East, I think, will be the New York Mets. Mets got promised. They finally locked up Jacob deGrom yesterday instead of his contract, so he got paid, which was sort of controversial because they dragged it out. And he was about to stop talking because the season was about to start. But the Mets made some moves in the offseason, traded for Robinson Cano from Seattle. I think Cespedes will start on the injured list. So we'll see what offense what the Mets can do. But their pitching is definitely up to par with Noah Syndergaard along with deGrom as well. But just don't see the Mets finishing higher than this. Wouldn't be surprised if they do because of the sort of the potential they have. But I got them only finishing 4th in the National League East. Number 3, the Washington Nationals. Lost Bryce Harper, but still have a decent team. Can they compete? Might be a team that compete for a wild card spot, maybe even this division. Max Scherzer, to me, which just got another extension, and got paid. I think he's the best pitcher in baseball to me. I think he's due for a monster year. Nats are a team to look out for, but I don't think they will finish higher than third, in my opinion, in the NL East. At number 2 in the East, the Philadelphia Phillies. Of course, they made some big splashes. Of course, Bishop Bryce Harper, monster 12-year contract for $330 million. That's what I mean. JT Realmuto from the Marlins. That's where he went to, the Philadelphia Phillies. So that's 2 big players there for the Phillies. They go along with the young team that competed a little bit last year. Just fell off near the end. But we'll see if they can stay in contention this year. I think they'll be a contention for a wild card and for this division. Can Jake Arrieta carry them enough for the pitcher side? They have some young pitcher, decent pitcher, but still lacking a little bit. I think Cliff Lee is still there as well. Now I just thought about it. So Cliff Lee and Jake Arrieta, a little bit older though. So we'll see how they hold up during the season. But Phillies made some big moves, and they're trying to compete for this division. So I think they will. And number 1, I can proudly say my Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves, and after somehow winning this division once again, they surprised me last year and won it. This time now, this is different. You got Target on your back a little bit more. But I think they can turn the corner. Robert Acuna Jr., hopefully he can build on the monster rookie year he had. Of course, still got Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, and round off the lineup. Julio Teheran, the ace for the Braves, still have to improve, but I think he will, and be the ace that they need. Don't feel great about the division. This division is probably one of the most wide open divisions, because I think even the Mets, with days going right, could possibly win this division. Only team I really count out is the Marlins. But hopefully my Braves can repeat and even do some damage in the playoffs. So I got the Marlins finishing 5th, finishing 4th, the Mets finishing 3rd, the Washington Nationals finishing 2nd, the Philadelphia Phillies that finishing 1st and winning the division, the Atlanta Braves once again. Let's move on to the NL Central. We start from 5 and go up to 1. And in last at 5th place, I think will be the Pittsburgh Pirates. Similar to the Marlins, the Pirates lost a lot of big players. They traded for Chris Archer, so I guess they're going to build around him. But lost Andrew McCutcheon over the years, and a lot of guys that diversify they lineup. But we'll see if they can compete. We've seen surprises in baseball before, but I'd be shocked if they contend at all the National League, but we'll see. Finishing 4th, I think. I predict we'll finish 4th. The Cincinnati Reds. The Reds improved their team with the big trade in the offseason with the LA Dodgers, with Yasiel Puig, Matt Kemp. So we'll see if the Reds can improve with Joey Votto, finally get him something around him, as he's been struggling there for years. We'll see if that improves their team. Still don't think they pitching this good enough though. But I think they'll just be more excited to watch it even over the years. So I got the Reds finishing 4th. Expected to finish 3rd, in my opinion, the St. Louis Cardinals. Even though the Cardinals improved their team by able to trade for Paul Goldschmidt for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then they wind up paying them to lock them up there. To me, the Cardinals have been the best team in baseball for the last 20 years, just off being consistent. So I think this will be another year for them. Could possibly, like I said, be a surprising team, and not just the division, but in the National League. Still got the young pitching that I like. So we'll see where they fall, but I only got them finishing 3rd though in the National League East. Central, excuse me, the Central we're in now. Finishing 2nd predictably, I think will be the Chicago Cubs. Cubs though, not big on the Cubs this year. I think they've been knocking on the door long enough. Even though they do got a World Series to show for it though. but they still young. It's still hard for them to think they're gonna have a terrible year. Like I said, pitcher's still strong. We'll see if they can push through again and compete in the National League. And number one, I think deserved to be the favorite after last year is the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers, of course, picked up some key pieces during the regular season last year, and Yelich and Jonathan Scope. I think they just a all-around good team. Almost made it to the World Series. Push the Dodgers to I think they were 7 games, I believe, or 6 games. I'm not 100% sure. I know it was a long series, but the Brewers fell short. But I think this year they gonna build on that. Might be a better team. Might not have a better record than they had last year, but they did be a better overall team. And I think that makes some noise in the playoffs as well. So I have the Brewers win the division, atop the Central in the National League. So if I felt Pittsburgh finishing 5th, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Reds finishing 4th, the Cardinals finishing 3rd, the Cubs finishing 2nd, and the Milwaukee Brewers finishing 1st in the Central. So we only got one division left in the NL. Let's go West. As we start at number 5, the San Diego Padres. Of course, they know about Manny Machado. But I think after that, not much to really talk about with the Padres. Just don't see them competing at all. You hear about a lot of teams, but you hear that the Padres got one of the best farm systems. So hopefully, maybe somebody will come up and be a surprise. I don't know, but I still don't see them finishing higher than last, just compared to the other teams in the division. 4th, I got the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are one of those teams I think that's taking a step back. Of course, losing Paul Goldschmidt. Just the moves they made, I think they just want to lay low for a while, maybe rebuild. They did sign Adam Jones to a 1-year deal. Probably still a decent team. Still got Zach Greinke there to solidify that pitching staff. But I just don't see the Diamondbacks finishing higher than this. I just think they took a step back by some of the things they did in the offseason. I predict finishing 3rd in the West, the San Francisco Giants. Giants, of course, in this decade, they've been the best team. They got 3 World Series to show for it. In this decade, Bruce Bochy, I think this is his final year. He's going to retire. He already announced that. Buster Posey still does anchor and the catcher behind the plate for the Giants. Evan Longoria, they get added last year. Can Bumgarner come back? We'll see. Hopefully, the Giants, as a team, like I said, could possibly do some dash. I think the National League, like I said, is wide open. So hopefully, I kind of want to see them do it for Bochy. He's one of the best managers, and they have the talent to do it as well. So we'll see where the Giants land, but they have the potential. But we'll see. Let's move on to who I think will finish 2nd, the Los Angeles Dodgers. I have finished in 2nd, the Dodgers. I sort of feel like how I feel about the Cubs. I think they've just been hanging around. Dodgers have been to the last 2 World Series, losing to the Astros, and then last year, of course, to the Red Sox. Took the Astros to 7. I think the Red Sox won in, I think they won it, was it 5 or 6 games? Dang, I don't remember. I didn't really watch. I didn't watch the World Series last year. I think I probably only seen like 1 or 2 games. But of course, Boston is the defending champions. But I think everybody underselling this tree. I see a lot of pundits still putting a lot of faith in the Dodgers. I think they still excel the team, but I think losing Puig and Kemp, I think will affect them more than people think it will. And I think but I think they still have the talent. Still got Clayton Kershaw, But to me, I'm down on him. He's hurt too much. He's hurt now. He's not going to be ready for the regular season. So I think the Dodgers be a decent team. Possibly even still make the playoffs. But I still think they won't do too much. I got to finish at second though in this division. So that means I got the Colorado Rockies finishing first. And I think I'm pretty much on the island on this. I did some research. I looked at other people's predictions about more professionals. And they still mainly got the Dodgers with the division. But I think it's the Rockies' time. I think they've been around, hanging around too, competing. Nolan Arenado, he's locked up. Of course, you know they're going to score runs. It's the pitcher that's, of course, the big question mark. But they've been able to overcome that and make the playoffs the last few years. So I think this time they win this division. They was making it as a wild card. I think this time they will be on top of the NL West finally. So I got the Rockies with the division. So at fifth, I got the Padres. Fourth, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Third, the San Francisco Giants. Finishing second, the LA Dodgers. And finishing first, the Colorado Rockies. From Colorado, of course. Nolan Arenado will lead them, and I think that will help him compete for the MVP as well. So we're going to move on to the American League. We'll do it the same way. Then we'll talk postseason awards. Then we'll get into the playoffs. Sorry. Got an important text I have to send, but let me continue to go on here. We're going to start the American League. Well, we're going to go over to the American League. We're going to start from the East just like we did in the National League and go all the way down to the West. Let's start in the East. Let's start fifth. I'm from Baltimore, so this pays me the same, but I really think this is probably one of the most surest things I'm about to say. The Baltimore Orioles will finish last in the American League East once again. They just don't have nothing there. Got a lot of young talent. Like I said, I guess when you watch a team, you see, potential more in a team. But I think they gonna finish last. I don't got them competing too much. I'd be shocked if they did anything but finish last. Like, this is the team I really feel strongly about. Maybe because I'm here and I see this team a lot. I am an Orioles fan, even though I tell the story all the time. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan first. But I did become an Orioles fan as well once I really started really loving baseball. But I read an article. Well, I seen an article where they people taking bets on the Orioles. The maybe finished first, worst to first. I guess out of all the teams that finished last year, they more bets are going towards the Orioles. Maybe because of the money. I'm thinking this is a money thing. It can't be with your head. I don't see the Orioles doing anything this year. I'd be shocked if they finish even out of the basement here. But I think this is another dark time for Orioles fans. Of course, the Orioles haven't won a World Series since 1983, which is the year I was born. Competed here and there in the late 90s and the last few years as well. Like started this decade, but I think it's especially what they did last year. They traded away pretty much every positive piece that we had. It would have been nice to keep Manny Machado here, but he walks, so I just don't see the Orioles doing anything. No pitching, as it's been for years, it's been an issue, so just don't see them finishing higher than last. I'd be shocked if they do. The Toronto Blue Jays got them finishing fourth here. Toronto, of course, had their moments when they be competing, but like I said, they lost a lot of guys as well through the years. A lot of they strong people that was a staple, like Jose Bautista, Josh Donaldson. All those guys are gone, but they still have a decent team there. The young pitcher with Marcus Stroman, which I like him a lot. I think he can improve. But I think they're better than the Orioles. Let's just put it that way. I don't think they finish last. but I don't think they will compete in this division too much either. I think the next 3 teams is definitely the top 3. Probably not even just this division, but probably in the American League, probably arguably in baseball. So they just in a tough division. But I think they'd be a little bit nice to watch, but I don't think they'd finish higher than 4th. I'd be surprised about them too if they in the contention when it comes to the end of the season. Finish at 3rd, I predict will be the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Rays is a team you just can't to be figure out. Pretty much a no-name team. I can't name one guy. Except for the guy that was Cy Young last year. It's hard for me to remember his name. And like I said, I'm blank right now. Don't know his name, but he's there. They got him for cheap because he's young. I can't name not one player, but this team continues to at least be decent. Ever since the turn of the millennium, the Rays, of course, they made the World Series, but was that 08? And they lost to the Philadelphia Phillies, but they still been, a competing team, not falling off the mat. Almost made the playoffs last year. So a lot of people think they're gonna improve. But I still don't think they're better than who. The next 2 teams here if you're a baseball fan. But they could win a wild card spot. And so I got them competing for one, so we'll see. Finish at 2nd. This was tough for me. A lot of people thinking that the Yankees might break through, but I still think they are. I still think they finish 2nd here. Even though I think Aaron Judge, they have a monster year. I think it's going to be a monster year for him. But got a little bufts and bruises. All right, Hicks is on the DL. Luis Severino, he will be out till May. So I think that's going to... I think that'll affect the Yankees a little bit. Can other people step in? But they got a young team through and through with Judge, Eric Sanchez, Torres, Greg Bird. I mean, they're just a deep team, so I think they still be able to ride the ship. They're going to score a lot of runs like they always do. I think the pitcher is the question about the starting pitcher. Excuse me, the starting pitcher in particular, because they still got Chapman and Britton and Betances. I think Betances hurt. Another one that's hurt starting the season off. So bullpen is definitely locked up. Starting pitcher would be the question mark. CD Sabathia, this is be a final year here now. He's going to retire after this season, so we'll see. But I think the Yankees too deep. They'd be in contention, maybe even for this division, but I just don't think they have enough to dethrone number 1, the Boston Red Sox, defending champions. Team I doubted all last year. They shoved it right down my throat once again. What Boston pretty much do to me. Boston, the Red Sox, the Patriots do it every time. Every time I doubt them, this is when they win. It's hard for me to doubt them this year. I've tried to find holes, I just can't. Mookie Betts, and Andrew Benintendi. I think his name is Andrew Benintendi. I said Mookie Betts. What's the other guy? I hate when I go blank on names. I really hate it. This hurts me. I mean, it hurts my blog too. It's like, dang, you should know. The other young guy that hits pretty well. Dustin Pedroia still trying to come back. David Price is the guy that shocked me. That's the one that I have to give props to. He finally got that monkey off his back. He was big. He was huge in the playoffs for them, pitching wise. Still got Chris Sale, gave him his money, so he ain't going nowhere. He'll be a solid left-hander for them as he always been. Xander Bogaerts, there we go. Xander Bogaerts. I'm sorry I got blank, but him and Mookie Betts, Benintendi, they carry this team. JD Martinez, can't forget about him. He's a monster. He would probably compete for MVP in the American League. So those 4 guys alone, and then other pieces around. The Red Sox is a deeper all-around team. Can hit for power and run the bases. I don't think that's going to change. I think they'll do it again, win the division. Probably not win 100. I think they won about 110, 112 games last year. I think it'd be still in the hundreds, but not that high. think they had barely beat the Yankees for the division. So 5th, I got the Orioles. 4th, I got the Blue Jays. 5th, I got the Tampa Bay Rays. 2nd, I got the Yankees. And number 1, I got the Boston Red Sox. Finish it 1st. And of course, we'll look at the playoff picture once we finish all the divisions. Alright, let's get the roll into the Central. Let's start at the bottom here. Finish at 5th, I got the Kansas City Royals. Royals, of course, had their glory years in this decade. Won a World Series. Went to back-to-back World Series. Won one, lost one. But just like most small market teams, once the players get, time to get paid, they can't keep everyone. So they've lost a lot of players over the years. They spread it all over the league. Honestly, can't name like one guy. That's usually not a good sign in baseball if you can't name like at least one person. And then it's pretty much top heavy at American League in my opinion. I don't think the Royals will compete too much, but could finish higher than 5th though. In this division, is to me it's only one team in this division I really feel strong about, and I don't feel strongly about them after they make the playoffs, which we'll know who they are in a minute. But let's move on to, I think we'll finish 4th, the Detroit Tigers. Also a team up and down, had their moments. Miguel Cabrera still there, but he's not the same guy. But other than that, not much to talk about with Detroit. Like I said, lost their pitching. But I guess with Miguel Cabrera there, I mean, that's worth watching Detroit for. But other than that, I don't see them competing any higher. Number 3, and finishing 3rd in the division, I predict the Chicago White Sox. White Sox building a little young team. They locked up one of their young players this week. I think Abreu, I believe, is his name. I might be wrong. They almost got Machado, but well, I won't say almost, but they gave him an offer. But the Sox look like they're trying to compete, trying to make some moves. Of course, they lost Chris Sale. Like, that was an ugly breakup. But if they still had him, they might compete in this division to me. But that was a few years back. But I got the fish there. I just think they, at least you hear about them trying to compete. So I think they will finish higher than the Tigers and the Royals, and they will finish 3rd. Finishing 2nd, the Minnesota Twins. To me, had a very disappointing year last year. But after the year before, they made the playoffs. Even was pushing for the division. The year before in 2017, excuse me. 2018 they flopped. Then they make the playoffs. They only won like 68 games or something like that. 70 games. They win a lot. But this year I think they're gonna bounce back. They'll probably compete for a playoff spot this year. But I still don't think they're gonna win this division. I got to finish in 2nd, and of course finishing 1st will be the Cleveland Indians. And just like I throw them in there with the Cubs and the Dodgers, is their window closing or what? And the Indians, a team that I was behind. I think I had them winning it all last year, and they just disappointed me in the playoffs. And the season they sort of like cakewalk through because they weak division, and that's why I think they win it again. But once they make the playoffs, I don't see them going nowhere again. Corey Kluber, of course, outstanding pitcher. He'll do his thing. They lost Encarnacion. He's in Seattle. Like I said, he's underrated player. I think as far as playoff and experience, it's good to have a guy like that. Francisco Lindor, he's an awesome player. They lost their 3rd baseman Ramirez. I seen that somewhere in the article. He might be out for a little while, so that'll probably derail it. But I think this division is just so weak. I think they'll wind up still winning it in the end of the day. So got the Indians winning the Central in the American League. So 5th the Royals, 4th the Tigers, 3rd the Chicago White Sox, 2nd the Minnesota Twins, and finishing 1st the Cleveland Indians from the American League Central. Let's go to the West, this is an interesting division this year. Let's get the bottom out the way, the Texas Rangers. Also see like they rebuilding. Lost a lot of guys over the years, just like other teams had to. Just don't see them going nowhere. Like I said, can't name anyone off the top of my head. Pretty much finished last year, so I think it'll just be the same. They didn't improve as far as I know, so got the Rangers finish at 5th. Finish at 4th, the Seattle Mariners. Mariners had a good year last year for their standards, almost made the playoffs, but they stripped their team down. I did mention they picked up a Kardashian, so that'd be good. But they lost Nelson Cruz. They traded Cano away. I don't know where Nelson Cruz is. I have to research that, because wherever he is, he's going to be a big factor. But I just got Seattle finished at 4th, because just because of what they did to the team, and I think they do want to take a step back, try to improve the young players. So I got them finish at 4th. But even though they 2-0 right now, they swept the A's in Tokyo. So, but those games I watched both of them. Could have went either way. Oakland could have won both of those games. Just a miss hit here and there, play here and there. I think in the second game, Oakland has a lot of errors, like two errors that really cost them. So, we know you can't overlook baseball over 2 games anyway. But it's good to be 2-0, you know. So, but I don't think that'll last long. I think they're gonna have some times when they struggle a little bit. Got to finish at 4th. Finish at 3rd, I think. Predictably, I think it would be the LA Angels of Anaheim, Los Angeles Angels. Of course, Mike Trout, richest man in America. Say like right now, $430 million. He got his money, so he's staying. All the rumors about him going to Philadelphia, all that's dead, you know. So, but other than that, can Mike Trout get some help? Cause Satoni from Japan, you know, the pitcher hitter guy, he's not going to pitch this year because he had Tommy John, but he's still going to play the field and hit sometimes. So, you know, can the Angels build a better team around Trout? I don't know. So that's why they got to finish at 3rd in the West. Finish at 2nd, I got the Oakland A's. Oakland A's, one of those other franchises like the Rays, just keep competing no matter what. Chris Davis is unbelievable. He cracked the home run already in that little 2-game series. Oakland, of course, they play a pitcher-friendly ballpark. Like I said, they look, even though they struggled a little bit over in Japan, but they still look good. They still like a decent team. And I think they finished 2nd. And finish at 1st, of course, without a doubt, the Houston Astros, a team that's been consistent the last few years. Won a World Series, 100 games last year, and throughout a lot of injuries, you know. But Jose Altuve, Alex Correa, just a lot of young guys that can do both hit and run the bases. Pitching, of course, with Justin Verlander, they gave him an extension, and he shocked me because I thought he was done. I think he just wanted to get out of Detroit, and he improved, got back to the old Justin. He would be the pitcher, even though they lost Dallas Keuchel. We'll see how that impacts them. But Houston's still the best team to be. Probably the deeper team, probably even deeper than Boston. I think those two are definitely the most deeper teams in baseball. So I got the Astros finishing 1st. So I got the Rangers finishing last. I got the Mariners finishing 4th. Angels finishing 3rd. A's finishing 2nd. And the Houston Astros finishing 1st in the American League. So that's all 30 teams I touched on. Now we're going to talk Cy Young and MVPs for both leagues. Then we'll talk playoffs and predict the World Series winner. So let's start with that first. Let's start the American League. I think Aaron Judge for the Yankees. I got predicted him with an MVP. I just think, like I said, he's gonna have a monster year. I think he'll stay healthy. I think he'll probably hit the high 40s in home runs. I think he'll hit over 300 as well. I think he's gonna be one of those guys. Probably get walked a lot eventually. And that's why I think he's not going to get the 50 home runs. I think they're going to stop pitching to him because I think he's going to have a monster year. I think he's going to start off strong. I got him winning the MVP. Like I said, also I got JD Martinez maybe winning it. Maybe Altuve or somebody from the Astros again to compete as well. But I really strongly believe in Aaron Judge. I think he'll win it this year. National League MVP. I think it'll be Nolan Arenado for the Colorado Rockies. I got the Rockies winning the West. So I think if that happens, that'll help his cause. He's been putting up monster numbers the last few years. I think if they win the West, I think that will help him win MVP in National League. A lot of potential guys in the National League. Like I said, National League is a much deeper league. Of course, Christian Yelich won it last year for the Brewers, and they won the division. I think it'll be similar to that. I think it'll be Nolan Arenado this time for the Rockies. Cy Young, this is a long shot to be in the American League, but I really think he's a different guy. I think he's confident now. I think that's probably what's holding him back the whole time. David Price, I really respect this guy now. I mean, I always did. I always think he was good. I just thought he had that playoff bug, you know. I think he finally cured it. I think now he just needed confidence, and now I think he got it. I think he's going to turn the corner and be even a better pitcher than he's been in the past, which is saying a lot because this guy can throw the baseball. Fling that ball down and strike you out. And I think he will ride the momentum from the World Series and everything, and I think he will win the Cy Young. I think he's going to have like a 20-win season and unbelievable numbers. And I think Boston winning the division, I think that will help him as well. I think Sale will be really conditioned as well as teammate. And maybe Corey Kluber again for the Cleveland Indians. And Verlander, you know, it's a lot of guys you could pick. I would go with Severino, but he's going to be hurt to start the year, so I think he already eliminated from Cy Young unless he comes back and have a lights out year. So I got David Price winning the Cy Young award. He's won it before, I believe, in the American League when he was with the Rays. I believe he has. So yes, he has. I don't know which year, but he has, because when he was in Detroit. I don't know if that's where he wanted at, but I remember him playing for the Tigers, and like I said, the Orioles, me being an Orioles fan, they beat Serger, Price, and there was a third pitcher that won a Cy Young. That was in Detroit. Verlander, Price, and Serger. All of us on the same team. Orioles went in there and beat all three of them and swept the Tigers. So he has what a Cy Young. I think he'll get back to that form though. Now that they shook that monkey off his back. And Cy Young, to me, this is easy, in my opinion. Max Scherzer, to me, best pitcher in baseball. Consistent, stays healthy. His stuff is unbelievable. I like watching him pitch. He just know how to throw. He just know how to pitch, man. Like I like this. I love watching him pitch for some reason. Remind me of a Greg Maddux, but just with more power behind this pitch, more, you know, faster fastball. Just pure stuff. Was probably better than Maddux. Was, you know, he sort of manipulated you more. His stuff wasn't bad, but it was more manipulation. But I think he pitched sort of like Maddux, but when he needs to turn up the heat, he can. So I got Max Scherzer with the NL Cy Young. Of course, it could be Syndergaard again. I mean, DeGrom again. Well, it could be Syndergaard as well for the Mets. They are two candidates that could. Kershaw, if he comes back healthy, he's always a candidate for it. But I think Max Scherzer, to me, is clearly the best pitcher in baseball. I think he will show it this year again. So that's it with the awards. So let's get to playoff predictions. Let's go to the National League again. We'll start over there again. Of course, my three division winners was the Brewers, Rockies, and Braves. I think that's how they will finish record-wise. I think the Brewers will have the best record in the National League again. I think the Rockies will have the second record. I think the Braves will have the third. I think the Braves, just how wide open that East is, I think that will hurt them with some wins. I think the Rockies, to me, I ain't gonna say they're gonna dominate the NL West, but I just think, to me, I think it's their time. I just think, I just don't believe in the Dodgers as much as I did anymore. And the Brewers, like I said, pretty deep, talented team. Cubs could win it. Like I said, I think they'd be between them. I think the Cardinals as well, because that's how it happened last year. Those three teams was all in contention for it. I think it'd be like that again. And I think the Brewers once again will come out on top though. Alright, my 2 wild cards. Speaking of the Cubs, I got the Cubs because of a wild card. They made it as a wild card last year and lost. But I think they'd be the home wild card. I think they'd get that first one. And I think the team that will get the second one is still the LA Dodgers. Still got talent there. But I think the National League is going to be crazy as far as probably every division. You could argue for like 2 or 3 teams. And so that means in the wild card, you have a lot of teams compete for that as well. But I just think those 2 teams, they got the experience and it's just too talented. I think they will win the wild cards. I think teams that could contend, the Phillies, like I said, how much they improve. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a wild card spot, or even win the division. Cardinals, I feel the same way about them. Very talented team. They compete for a wild card, maybe the division. Nationals is my 3rd team. I think they could compete as well for both as well in the National League. So I mean, it's other teams that might have a chance as well, like the Giants, and I think the Mets as well. I really think the Mets. Some people down on the Mets, but I just think with that pitching, you just never. I mean, when you got good pitching, days can happen. Days went the other way last year, it could go the opposite way this year. As long as you score some runs, they could be a decent team. So let's go to the American League. I got the Astros winning the West. I got them winning the 1st seed this time. Boston won it last year. I think the Astros had the most wins. I got Boston finishing 2nd though. I got the Indians finishing 3rd. My 2 wild cards, they the same as last year. The Yankees clearly will be a wild card. Like I said, could win the division, so this could be Boston in this spot. But I think both of those teams, 2 strong. I think both of them make the playoffs one way or the other, for sure. That 2nd wild card probably be a little bit more wide open. Well, Oakland, I got them getting it again just because of the experience from last year. I think they improved. Like I said, even though I watched them last week, you can't go things off 2 games, but I just feel like I like the way they play together, like a team. So I think that will prevail, and they'll probably get that 2nd wild card spot. Now, 3 teams I think that could compete for it. I think I feel real strongly about the Rays, so I got them as being a contender. Not winning the division though. I don't feel strongly about the winning the division, but winning a wild card, yes, I think they can do it. If they improve on last year. Now these 2 teams are more long shots, but like I said, I think the American League is really just, honestly, it's just Houston, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. I think everybody else is a tier below, in my opinion. I think the American League is more solidified who can win and who's not going to win. So, but I feel strongly about the Rays competing for a wild card. Twins, just because I got them finish 2nd in the Central, and they was in the wild card hunt 2 years ago, and they still have mostly that same team. I think maybe they could do it. And the Angels are real long shot because just because of Mike Trout. Like I said, we got good players. You can't count them out. So just to have another contender, I think they would. I don't think so. I really don't think the Twins and the Angels are going to be the player. I really don't think they have. I don't want to say they don't have no chance, but I don't feel as strongly as I do like the National League contenders that I wrote down here. I think they can even win divisions. I think all the teams that's going to compete for playoffs, they can win. I think in the National League, the top 3 teams for sure can possibly win the division. And in the East, like I said, I throw the Mets in there. I think they have a potential to win the division as well. So I just think the National League is much more wide open. Okay, let's move on to the nitty gritty now. Let's start in the National League. The National League Championship Series, so I think we'll make it there. I'm sorry, the American League Championship Series. I was about to read the wrong thing. I got the Red Sox and the Astros meeting once again. They met last year in the American League Championship Series. I want to say the Yankees because I don't like the Yankees though. I mean, I'll be honest about that. I'm not a big Yankees fan. They torture both of my teams, the Orioles and the Braves. Of course, Orioles in their division and the Braves. If you go back to the 90s, I think they beat the Braves at least twice in the World Series. So I'm not a big fan of the Yankees, but you just can't deny what they bring to the table. So I would be shocked if they make it here. But like I said, those 3 teams, somebody got to lose. So right now I have to go with the Yankees again. And this time I got Houston beating the Red Sox this time. I think they had a lot of injuries last year. I'm not saying that's why they lost to them last year. But I think the rematch, and Houston will have home field advantage, I think, this time. So I think it'll work out different. I think the Astros will represent the American League in the World Series. So let's go to the National League Championship Series. I ain't gonna lie, this might be a little bit with my heart instead of my head. My Atlanta Braves, I think they'll make it. Even though they have to finish the 3rd in the National League overall as a 3rd seed. But I think they'll go to Colorado, beat them. Then make it to the NLCS against the Brewers. I think the Brewers will beat whoever the wild card is. Cubs, Dodgers, or any other teams I mentioned. But I just still don't think my Braves have enough to beat the Brewers. I think the Brewers is an overall deeper team, and I think it will show. I think they will break through finally and get to the World Series. So we have a, I don't want to say non-sexual. Astros is a team a lot of people know now as baseball fans. That's an exciting team. But the Brewers still, like the Brewers, but they're going to be the Astros or the Brewers in the World Series this year. And I think the Astros will win it. So I'm sort of on, just like a lot of the experts got the Astros winning it. And it's hard for me to think they won't. They're just a deep team. They just have everything they need. They have pitching, bullpen, pitching. Lineup from 1 through 9 is strong. Like I said, Carlos Correa, he'll be back. Jose Altuve. You can just go on and on with the Astros. So I think whatever they did when they, like I said, just about 4 years ago, they win 60 games, and now they competing for championships. I think they win their 2nd World Series in 3 years, and they will win the World Series in October. So I thank you for joining me. That's it. Season starts tomorrow. ESPN got games on all day. Yankees Orioles getting started at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be a local teams, everybody will be on tomorrow. There'll be a lot of games during the daytime, bad games at night. So if you're a baseball fan, definitely big day tomorrow. As far as sports period, you got the NCAA tournament starting back up again with the Sweet 16. A lot of good matchups. So we'll talk about that Saturday. We'll talk more baseball Saturday as well. NBA season starting to wind down. We'll look at the playoff races in both the West is pretty much sold up. The East still has some question marks. But we'll talk about all of that. NFL been quiet this week, but maybe it'd be so. Well, not really. Rob Gronkowski retired. I almost forgot about that. So we'll talk about that Saturday as well. So join me for episode 101 this Saturday on the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is episode 100, our special MLB season preview as we wrap it up. Astros winning the World Series once again, as they will defeat the Brewers. That's my prediction. And if you skip through it, missed it, of course this will be up on the playlist, the Solid Sports Video Blog playlist, all 101 episodes. So go enjoy me if you like the blog, and I appreciate all the support. I appreciate everybody who supports the blog, and I hope everyone have a good baseball season. I hope your team does well, especially if it's in the National League, because I think pretty much the whole National League is going to be in condition for a while, at least through the beginning. I'll Troy West said, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support, and thank you for joining me for this MLB season preview special. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. See you Saturday.